every city you burn, I'm gonna build one high.
Greetings, fellow Empyreans. I am Ashtarothi, the voice of New Eden, and it is May 16th, YC126, and this is the Eve Universe Show. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I forgot to do the thing where I turn it on early because of the black stuff that nobody likes. I'll get better at that. How's it going, guys? Okay, hold on. Time out. Kali, what I'm saying is, I have to express this all the time, but just to remind everybody, I'm not saying Empyreans as in those of the Empire. I'm saying Empyreans with an E as in those from Empyrean, which is the highest heaven in Dante's Paradiso. So Empyreans are angels, and it comes from a speech that was given by the ambassador from the Mimitar to Concord, Caignon, his first speech ever, where he called the Capsuleers truly the Empyreans of our age, our shepherds to the stars. So that's what it's a reference to. Amari and Angelic. Okay, fair enough. If you enjoy sweeping shots like this, that is currently being shot live, I actually managed to, I was pretty proud of this one. I had to give you guys something to look at, so I knew that, you know, we've seen the Jita 4.4 quite a bit, but not a lot of people have actually spent the time to come and look at the HyperNet as it operates in space. Which is pretty cool. So I figured that would give you something to look at while the video is starting. And if you like that, go ahead and like the stream. It helps out. All right, let's see. Why don't I have chat visible easily? There we go. Elysian is one I've seen for the war clones. Do we need new ones for these Upwell workers? Well, the whole point is that we are the spirits that fly in the heavens. That's why we're the Empyreans, not just because of the fact that we're clones, but because we fly in the heavens. So, yeah. This might be Ashtarothi's elitism talking, but I don't consider other clones the same as Empyreans, per se. The next step after physics tutorial. Welcome to Eve. Here's a ship. Now fuck off. Luckily, we're not there anymore, and I didn't... you got me. All right. I said... Well, dead meat. It's been fun, guys. Make sure to support the stream. 07, guys. I gotta get better at that. I'm just teasing. Oh, this music is loud. Can't hear it, but I can. Here. Well, now it doesn't do it. Hold on. Inactive client meeting. There we go. Fun bug. All right, so before we jump into the SUE Epic arc, which I'm not actually sure if I'm going to be able to finish it today or whatever. First of all, hey, Tranquilla Mare, thank you for those 5 gifted memberships. So I'm a little bit out of it today, okay, guys? I admit it. I had a back injury in the military, and it's been particularly bad the last couple of days. I've been laid out. This has been my first day being able to, like, freely use my arm and back again. So, but it's not 100%. So, sorry if I'm not 100%, but we're making through it because we've got things to talk about and things to do. So, but let's talk about Equinox and Focus. So today, CCP did their live stream where they went over all of the details about the new ships that are coming. No expiration date because I'm still on that arc for 5 years. Yeah. It's true. And now if you finish, well, it does kind of have an expiration date in the fact that if you take more than 3 months, then you've lost a cooldown. So just some of the highlights. I do recommend you just go and watch the video for more information, and I'll link it below if I haven't probably linked it below. Hold on. Let me change that real quick. Save, and I'll link it in the chat. So in this one, we'll just, where is it? Probably right before that, huh? There. Okay, so what we see here is not the Polaris, but we see a 20% bonus to missile damage per skill level. So 100% total bonus to missile damage for levels of Upwell Hauler, which is the new skill. That means it basically doubles the amount of launchers, so it's effectively the same as like an unbonused battle cruiser worth of damage. You know, the 8 turrets are, as they pointed out, about the same amount of damage, just like a Caracal. Honestly, it is pretty comparable to the Caracal in a lot of ways, except speed, which becomes a big piece of it. But because of the missile damage bonus is neutral, that means it can be used with light missiles. It could even be used with rockets if you need to. Not really as important here, but definitely something to worry about as we scale up. Because the thing is that the same amount of damage as a Drake. Does a Drake not have any damage bonuses? If so, yes. Anywho, so we can see here that they're using rapid lights. You could use heavies, you could use whatever. But as we scale up, okay, Drake has one. Oh, got it. An effective 8. So, while you scale up to things like the Avalanche or whatnot, when you're using huge launchers, well, you could use the rapid heavies or whatever, but you could also still use rapid lights and it'll still be bonus for it. Because if your targets you're expecting your targets to be like destroyers or something like that, then you might want a smaller ship. Now, whether or not destroyers like Catalyst will be actually killing a Avalanche is another question. Probably not. Their primary target is still going to be battlecruiser size targets, so they'll probably still want heavy launchers. But yeah, the Caracal would be kinetic locked. This one is not kinetic locked, and it also has a better resist profile because its resist profile matches the base resist profile of the Edencom ships, which is interesting. Also, before we get too much deeper into this, I do want to point out that somebody made the silly comment in chat, but like, ore is part of Upwell. So if ore produces a ship, it's an Upwell ship. These ships that we're looking at were developed by ore in partnership with Mortis Legion. That's Upwell ships. The reason why ore ships are ore ships and Mortis Legion ships are Mortis Legion ships is that both of those ships were developed and designed prior to Upwell. But both of those groups and many others are part of the Upwell consortium. So ore ships and Mortis ships are also are both Upwell ships, and Edencom ships were also developed by and built by Upwell. Edencom doesn't have their own Navy like manufacturing center or anything like that. They're actually just a conglomeration of forces of the 4 empires that constantly have to fight for their own budget. it's actually Upwell that developed those ships for Edencom. Oh yeah, I've said that like it'd be awesome if we consolidated as much of this stuff as possible. So, you know, change it all to Upwell. But we'll see how far they can take that. One of the hints that they say is that the new missiles that are coming that they show off here are going to be for Mortis Legion LP, which, you know, I guess it could be that they're seeding all these things to bring them together in this new one later. But like, I don't know. That could be just. I'm feeling it. That reeks of cope to me. So I wouldn't recommend believing that. Anywho, so either way, so this thing does pack a fair chunk of damage. We'll look at the exact number when it pulls it up. And it has a fairly decent tank. We'll see the actual result of that too. But it has a 3,000 meters cubed, without any fitting changes capacity, and it has a. They show the other. Hold on, we'll just. This is enough of this, I guess, for now. They'll pull up the actual ship. Yeah, Morty does have the missile tech. So when does Upwell be? I was talking about this, that like I can't wait for Upwell's villain arc, right? Because, you know, they control the most ubiquitous mining equipment in the whole cluster. They own all of the facilities that the space elite use throughout all of known space. They are the largest functioning mercenary corporation or organization in the entire game, or in the entire cluster. Like, yeah, when they go mask off, what are the empires going to do? They don't need to be an empire. They own the empires. Yeah, it was Sancha all along. All right, here we got some stats now. Oh, come on. No. Yes, there we go. Okay, so for rapid lights, it has a 42-kilometer range with 268 DPS. This is with 2 damage mods. So the DPS is nothing to write home about, especially with rapid lights. But remember, these are rapid lights, and these are the assumption is that you're applying this to pretty much paper-thin catalysts. So on that scale, we're not. It's not bad, right? On top of that, we have 33,000 EHP with a pretty hefty resist profile, especially with it in explosive and kinetic. With it'd be nice to get a little bit more thermal, because thermal is actually like pretty much the most done damage type in the game. But you know, kinetic is a big part of you know, blaster damage, and explosive. Probably not as big of a deal, except for NATOs. Cannot see that. These are Caldari Navy Molnir light missiles, not auto-targeters. The bonus to auto-targeting missiles is in the freighter. And that's because the freighter like has such a long lock time that it relies on its auto-targeting missiles to work. What's up, Dutch? All right. It would be cool. Yeah, I think they intentionally make every ship not have a high thermal damage resist, because 2 weapon systems in the game use thermal as a secondary damage type. Yeah, I mean, yes, there's all kinds of neat little. Correct. There is definitely balanced reasons why it is the way it is, and it does make a lot of sense. I was just more from as a buyer option, because remember, this is fit. So if I were fitting this, I would like to see it have, like, I don't know exactly what these rigs are, but you know, they're probably like extenders or something. But if I had had the choice, I would have considered figuring out a way to get that up without sacrificing too much of this, is all I was saying. Because it's a thermal's often used in so much damage. That's true. Okay, so that's not this one though. This is the Tech 1. We'll get to that when we get to the Tech 2, Jeremy. So, yep. Cool. Resistance profile. We're talking about that. All right. So we see here is 3000 trig is thermal and explosive. Yes. With a supposedly large shield, it would think that those aren't extender ridge. I don't know. Well, I don't know the fit. Wait, I do know the fit. Wait, hold on. We do know the fit. I'm so dumb. Wait, they're right there. They're right. It's right there. They are extenders right there. See? 3 medium core defense extenders. Okay. So we're done with that. They shouldn't favor certain weapon systems in terms of resist. Yeah. You should be. Everything's fine on this side. Try refreshing. Okay, so I digress. What we see here is a 3,000 unbonused, 67,500 infrastructure hold. So 67K, 67.5K infrastructure hold. I'm pretty sure this is with max skills. Infrastructure hold includes basically anything involving a structure. So the structures themselves, the cores, fuel, all that kind of stuff. What it doesn't include is ore, minerals, and I don't believe it has ice products. I didn't get like a hard no on that, but from everything else I saw, it was no ice and no isotopes, I think. But there's still like the 3,000 meters cubed for that. More likely than not, if you're going to use an industrial sino or whatever. But I didn't hear anything about ice or ice products being able to be in the infrastructure hold, and they like listed everything else. So, yeah. That's weird. Let me check my stream health. Everything's looking good on my side. I don't know, guys. At any rate, maybe they got mad because I swore. They paused my stream. This is still the squall. Then they go after the deluge. So this is the blockade runner. So before we get any further in this, there was so many questions about, do these fit sinos? Do they use interdiction nullification? Do they do this? Do they do this? Look, besides the couple of things that are cool about them, these are just haulers, blockade runners, and deep space transports and freighters, okay? So everything that applies to any of those classes of ships apply to their respective ones. So the ones that can use covert sino can use covert sino. The one that can use industrial sinos, the ones you can use industrial sinos can use industrial sinos. The ones that can use interdiction nullification use interdiction nullification. There is only one weirdness, which is that freighters can't use cloaks, but that's only required because freighters normally don't have high slots. So other than that, these are, once these come out and get like processed by the community, besides their extra defensiveness and whatnot, these are effectively just new haulers, just like a faction version of a hauler. That's even how they called it. Good job. That's good to hear, actually. Are they going to show the deluge stats? Hold on. Oh, yeah. I can't. I don't like how Twitch works. Yeah, they're flyby of the deluge. These ships do look amazing, and they have the details. The The only thing, okay, so spoiler alert, I'm really disappointed across the board with these. Absence of warp animation and warp details. These things are the things that we're going to, like, people that are in them are going to see nothing but them going in and out of warp. And the bigger they are, the longer that warp's going to take. So having cool lights that flash as it enters into warp, you know, like sirens that go off, or like the X fold down, or something really cool to look at would be nice for these ships. They look really good, but from the outside, they're very flat. And in order to see the details, you have to have free camera, and you can't free camera when you're in warp. The freighter cannot cloak. That's what I'm saying. The one exception to, like, the normal rule, like, one of the things that we learned today is that the freighter cannot cloak, and that's because a freighter normally does not have high slots. I assume the freighter can also not be yeet filamented or booshed or any of that sort of stuff. The nice thing is, so this thing's cool and all, and this is kind of fun. I jokingly called it the most useless missile launchers in EVE, because, like, this ship, if you're getting caught in this thing, your missile launchers are not the thing that you want to have saving you, right? Like, so many things have gone wrong if you're caught in this ship. But that said, still pretty good. It's tanky, and it's got a huge infrastructure bay. So this thing right here has the capability of, hold on, pull up the details. So it's got a 5% bonus to warp speed and acceleration, and 20% reduction in cloaking device reactivation time. And then a bonus to infrastructure hold and missile damage rate. Not as big of a missile damage rate, so it's actually going to do less damage, 192 damage, or 96 damage, as opposed to the Tech 1 variant. But it gets that covert ops cloaking device, and all of the juicy perks that come with it, including its ability to cloaking bridge and light covert sinos. In fact, it says can fit covert ops sinos, immune to cargo scanners, just like any other of these blockade runners. Yeah. Better to at least be able to shoot back. I mean, it's true. I joke. I won't lie. One day my crane's going to die, and it's going to be really funny because my crane is like half fit. Like, if it doesn't literally make its cargo go faster or make it warp faster, I probably haven't even filled the slot. Spoiler, my crane isn't tanked. I do like to fly around in a perfectly empty crane every once in a while, just to fuck with people that want to just kill cranes. Oh, the Cindy situation. That is something I want to dig into at some point, but there's too much going on today. Let's keep going. I do have a lot to talk about the torrent. All right. So, the torrent is a deep space transport. Deep space transports are one of my favorite haulers in the game. Basically, my haulers go Synesis, deep space transport, freighter. Deep space transports are known for two things. One, being tanky as hell if you do it right. And B, two? One of the two. It has a 65,000 meter cubed fleet hangar, which is immense. You know, hauling ships are usually pretty happy with like 10, 15. Hold on. Gosh darn it. All right. Yeah. So it has this major hold that is the fleet hangar. Now, the deep space transport gets all of that and more. So it gets a massive tank to itself, and it gets so it gets the bonus to all shield resistance and bonus to fleet hangar capacity, as well as the bonus to missile damage, a bigger bonus to missile damage. So I am calling it now. The Torrent is not a deep space transport. It is the assault hauler. Like, this thing is awesome. But either way, so it has this 25% damage bonus. It's got the built-in +2 warp core strength bonus. It has the bonus to overheating afterburners, micro warp drives, local repair modules, resistance modules, Nosferatu modules, and energy neutralizer modules. So you can actually make a torrent. You can make a newt torrent that's like baiting people out, and they expect you to shoot it with missiles, and then you newt the crap out of it, which is pretty fun. Yeah, police hate this one, or not. Pirates hate this one trick. I don't know. So you pull up the details, cover up some of the details. Aha. So what we see here is lower damage. This is the deluge still. There we go. 301 DPS. So now you're talking about reasonable cruiser damage. Like, not feeling too bad about that with rapid lights. As well as having 171 EHP, where if you overheat... Do they do it? Come on. Wait, they do it here. If you overheat, it's 225 EHP. So, it depletes in 3 minutes, but that's with the micro warp drive burning, right? If the micro warp drive isn't on at all, I don't know if they show that, but it probably will tank for quite some time and kill a bunch of stuff in the meantime if they set it up right. Plus, it has the interdiction nullification. This thing is truly a deep space transport. It could be a really fun one to use, and this would be like my hauler of choice if I was in nullsec and my job was to scoop up the infrastructure hub stuff, the reagents. But if we look back here, we can see it has a 3,000 meters cubed unbonused normal cargo hold, same as the Tech 1, a 90,000 meters cubed Battle Bus 2.0, exactly, a 90,000 meters cubed infrastructure hold, on top of a this says 37,500, but I know for a fact that that goes up to 50,000. So maybe some of these numbers aren't correct. I don't know. Either way, I think he simulated it when he wasn't in it yet, so his skills weren't applied to those numbers, if I remember correctly. I don't remember exactly. No, because how? The fleet hangar I thought was supposed to be 50,000. Either way. The point is, this thing is going to be a really, really good general use hauler. It's going to be good for high sec. It's going to be good for null sec. It's even pretty much going to be good with low sec. And the fun thing about it is it makes it so that escorting or being escorted is a lot simpler, because you can actually support the fight. They don't just kill you out from under all your supporters. And this also means that yeeting out with one of these dudes in order to raid, like, this thing becomes the thing that's actually hacking the skyhook, right? Because, top speed caps out at 1,000. You want your combat ships to be able to move around really quickly. So you have something like this, a brick that comes with you, a literal brick in space that comes with you, that breaks open the shield and hacks the stuff while you fight anything that comes in. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the fleet hangar is 50,000 with Upwell Transport 5. Well, Upwell Halt, no. It's Transport Ships 5. No, yeah, Transport Ships 5. because that's how Tech 2 works. You need the base racial skill up to 5, and then there's the Tech 2 skill. So the Tech 2 skill stays the same, transport ships. And all you need now is Upwell Hauler to 5 in order to use it. So that's really cool. And then finally, the Avalanche, which they show off a bit first. Yeah, here we go. Here's a shot that's really cool. So they come over, like Avalanche, ooh, ah, it's pretty. Now, this is the kind of detail that is actually really, really cool, because when you're sitting around staring at your ship for a long period of time, this is the kind of stuff that's really cool to find or whatever, right? But when you're aligning and warping, which is when you're bored and looking at the ship, you can't do that stuff. So while I appreciate that details on the inside, I do wish that it like had a long folding animation, or even like lights that go down the edge. Can you imagine World Arcs instead of Orca tank, it's a freighter tank? Yeah, like legitimately, I was thinking about the fact that like we would bring one of these things to, because they were like, why would you put a tractor beam into a high slots? And I was like, well, because you're supporting an invasion fleet. That's why. So the wild thing about the Avalanche by far is, so the Avalanche's base cargo hold is about halfway between, well, it's half of a T1 freighter of the same size, or, you know, whatever. Now, that makes it still larger than jump freighters. Jump freighters are very small cargo bay comparative to their brethren. But, you know, freighters will still have a much bigger cargo bay, especially if they have expandeds or whatever. I like to jokingly say that the Avalanche is just a way for CCP to trick people to actually fit bulkheads by building them in. But the thing I really like about this ship, first of all, as I mentioned earlier, the bonuses are for all missiles. So if you wanted to, you could theoretically go with like rapid lights or rapid heavies or whatever you wanted to go with in order to deal with the fight. But he has a resistance amplifier. He's looking at it right here, the flex shield resistance changer. So here's the thing. The armor, shields is more about shield burst, like the ability to repair, where armor is more about buffer and resistances, right? So where shields have a lot of options when it comes to shields like amplification, like for instance, shield boost amplifiers and such, and the ability to scale up their shield boosters way bigger, easier than armor does. You know, armor gets things like reactive armor hardeners and more access to different armor hardening of all different choices, right? So shields lack an ability to adapt your tank to the situation that is in front of you in the same way that a reactive would for the armor, until you get to capital class. You have these flex shield hardeners that are only allowed for capital ships, but I believe normal freighters cannot use them. So this is the only, if I understand correctly, this is the only freighter that can use these. Is that correct? Because this is actually a really cool thing, because it does, basically it allows you to, in the moment, swap one of your hardeners to being whichever type specific hardener you need in that moment, which is really important if you jump in and you see what's ganking you, right? If it's NATO's, you might want to go with EM or explosive. If it's, okay, no problem. If you are getting hit by Taloses, it might be thermal or kinetic, you know, whatever it is. So, yeah, and you're getting, these are auto-targeting missiles, I think. So they're double dipping. This is 1300 DPS because they're double dipping on the damage bonuses. Okay, yeah. So capital flex hardeners don't go onto normal freighters. They didn't say that they won't add it, but I'm seriously saying that CCP should add it, especially if this works out. Like, I like this being part of the Avalanche, and I think that it shouldn't be just for the Avalanche. And the reason why is because, like, haulers have... The one thing haulers really come back... Like, I get the feedback from over and over and over again, is that there's nothing that they can do while they're getting ganked. And I really feel like that's what all of these things are designed to solve, right? The biggest problem with being a hauler is the sense of powerlessness that comes from the process of being ganked. The fact that that once it starts, you basically just get to sit there and watch it play out with very few options of your own. And I have always pointed out that the way to counter a gank happens before the gank. That the act of the gank itself, like once the gank has actually started, it's usually already too late. That's like, how do I stop a bullet, right? But because these things often take long enough of a process, it is true that this is a negative enough of an experience that that a lot of players are not liking it. And yes, from an old school EVE Online like mindset, saying like, well, that's part of the point, right? Like, it is supposed to be a not very fun experience for them. I'm not doing that for their enjoyment. You know, all I'm doing, you know, they're losing their ship. They should have known better. It's just punishment for whatever. But like, there's a difference in gaming between a bad result and feeling like you have to continue to play past the point where you have no options. And that second is actually something that a lot of game design attempts to avoid, right? Especially in like modern games like Hearthstone or whatever, this idea that like they avoid the no hope scenario that lingers out for a long time. Vampiric fun, that's a good term. So the idea being that this doesn't necessarily change the result of ganking. It does change the formula for the ganking, because the ganker is going to now have to anticipate that the ship could potentially destroy a certain number of them during the gank, but it's still just a math problem. It doesn't change the fact that it's a formula. It just adds a new variable to the formula, incoming DPS before Concord, right? And that's already been part of the formula because counter gankers exist and they've ganked through those before, okay? So, but what this does is it makes it so that even after the gank has begun, the player who is playing who is being ganked still has an option. So, and that's, in my opinion, that's one of the reasons why it's really important that these lower caliber don't have auto-targeting missile bonuses, because the idea is like fighting it out is a big piece of, you know, this size ship comparison, especially with the kind of things that are going to be ganking you. Now with freighters, though, you have the problem where freighters need to be able to not be able to lock things easily. So if a freighter just was able to lock things within the gank time, then that would be a problem. So instead, they're relegated to using auto-targeting missiles, which does take some of their control away, because auto-targeting missiles must shoot at the closest target. So if a ganker is smart, they can actually, like, everybody move in, and then as soon as somebody gets shot, they move away. Because as soon as they move away from the group, whoever's closest will start getting shot. He starts moving away, the next closest person will start getting shot. He starts moving away, next person gets shot. None of them die. The shots always go to a new person, because the next person, every time it shoots, there's a new closest person. And, you know, but now you have the exact same scenario, but it's now play and counterplay, right? An unprepared person The ganker comes in, just ganks them. A prepared person, unprepared ganker, kills the ganker. A prepared person, prepared ganker, ganker can outplay the auto defenses, right? So, cool. Good so far. We're good so far. That's why it's auto-targeting missiles. Now then, why shield flex hardener? What is the reward for brawling it out in this scenario? Why do I want you to brawl it out? Because in this case, target management is important. You have a fight, right? You have a fighting chance. They have a fighting chance in a lot of scenarios. So choosing who to target, like there's a lot of decisions behind that, right? That's the decision that's being taken away. And this decision is based on what you know about the targets, their ship class, what kind of DPS they do, how vulnerable they are, right? That's how you're going to decide your targets. Well, all of that gets taken away by the choice of doing auto-targeting missiles. That choice is now given to the enemy by who is closest. So instead, we give you a new choice, we being CCP. We give you, there's a new choice, which is, where is it? Come on, where's the fit? Yeah. Instead, we give you a new choice. There's the flex shield hardener. And so the question is, do you know what resistance you need to tank to best survive this gank, right? You're right, nobody ganks in oracles. That's a good example, though, although they might, depending on where they are. But if you know that they're in a tornado, as I said, EM or explosive. If they're in a Talos, thermal or kinetic, right? So, like, you can make the point here is not whether or not this choice is successful. The point is that they get the choice, right? The point is that they get to make a choice and see how it's playing out. And I believe, how long does it take to reload a flex hardener? It's instant, right? Because they can swap it. If they ever want to, they can just hit the thing, turn it off, and then quickly swap it and turn it on. They're still playing the game to the one. Yeah. So they're playing the game until the moment that their shields are collapsed, right? They're still fighting. They're still shooting. They're still making decisions. They still got a chance. That means, and this is important, because if you still have a fighting chance, then your adrenaline is pumping, you know, all this stuff is happening. And even though you die, you still feel good. I want you to think about that. Have you ever been ganked? Like, think about that Astero fight that I had just the other day, right? Right? Where I tried to get to the wormhole. When I was done with that, did I care about the Astero? I mean, yeah, some. But in that moment, the fact that I lost the Astero wasn't as upsetting to me as the excitement of what had just happened. Even though I'd lost, that was an incredibly, like, whoo moment. And it wasn't just for me, based on all of the comments I've gotten about it, right? Like, that's the moments you live for, quote unquote, or that's the moments you, in this case, die for, right? So the point is not make them ungankable. That's never been the point. That's actually the opposite of the point. You don't want that. What you want is to make the person walk away from it, win, lose, or draw, pumped up. You get what I'm saying? Whatever you get, it's a victory. If it's a loss, ooh, it was close. Oh, I did it. Or, ooh, I made that mistake and I could have done this. And oh, this is, either way, the alternative is just sitting there and watching it happen to you. And as much as people may like to enjoy knowing how much misery they're inflicting on other people, I need that hauler to wake up in the next day and decide to keep being a hauler in Eve, to keep playing Eve. And this is the thing that, like, a lot of people don't understand about this stuff, which is that, like, people say, oh, well, you know, people stay in these things or whatever. But A, that person who's a hauler is also doing other things in Eve. And B, even if they're not, eventually they're going to. There's a lot of people that stick with just the normal, like the same routine over and over in high sec or whatever. But I think that myth is by far the minority. And CCP in the other stream, I think it was, said something that I thought was really smart, which is, or at least alluded to something, which is the idea that greed is the motivator, right? We can't motivate people to take the next step out of being industrialists or a PvE or a high secker by simply making their world so dangerous that they don't want to take part in it. They're not going to step up. They're going to quit. I've said this before. What we need to do is keep them in and engage them enough so that way they feel accomplished in that to the point where it becomes routine and they become bored and they realize how much more they could be getting elsewhere. And that's where their greed drives them to strive forward. And that's how progress is made, right? And this is a very interesting idea, right? Like if you could be satisfied with what you got, then yeah, you could just rat for the next 10 years. It's our desire to grow bigger than we are, our boredom with what we have, and our aspirations to do more that causes us to continue to be able to renew our interest in the game. So, let the process work. Now, how much are these going to cost? What's interesting is that while they did say that the T1 is going to be about 10 times the cost, they didn't mention the cost of the T2s as much, although they're going to be invented off the T1. But they mentioned that the freighter is going to be about the same cost as a normal freighter. And they even show the build cost here with 10 capital propulsion engines, 5 capital sensor clusters, 5 capital armor plates, 5 capital shield emitters, 40 capital cargo bays, 5 capital construction parts, 400 auto integrity preservation seals, 200 life support backup units, and 1 capital core temperature regulator. So, and of course, all of those products require the R4 moon goo materials, the reinforced carbon fibers, and the other thing that it produces. As someone who likes hauling, a big problem for new players is not knowing how to find things to haul and make profit doing it. I mean, that's a big problem too. Although the nice thing is that distribution missions are actually pretty cool if you do it right. Like, and it is pretty nice for standings. So, yeah. GM, give me these materials. Can I get that button? Anything else we miss? They demonstrate them killing oracles. So I gotta tell you, like, it's very obvious that what they did was they calculated it to be like, okay, well, these 5 oracles will die just before the shields crumple on the avalanche, just based on the damage. And they went with oracles because that way they could do like the most EM damage. Although honestly, I would go with NATO's at EM. But this was clearly just designed to be a demonstration. CCP isn't saying that people like gank people in oracles. That 8% tax claps any new players from trying to use haulers to trade between stations. Oh, like for market? Well, yeah. I mean, don't be an alpha. So I digress. Is that it for the haulers? Did I miss anything? It's not actually that much new hauling busy work. Only one of the 3 things actually needs to be hauled. Oh, auto-targeting missiles in the Mortis Legion LP store. They didn't really... Did they show very much about them? I think they just hovered over it and talked about it. So apparently auto-targeting... There was faction auto-targeting missiles from back in the day, but like the only time they ever dropped was because some GM used it in GM Week in 2016 on accident, and that's how they got into the game. So rather than like leave that weird, they instead renamed it Legion Molnir or Legion auto-targeting missiles, and now these will be available in the Mortis Legion LP store. They did not give any details about that. They did say that next week's dev blog is going to be about Skinner, which is the big one for me. Anything else? Anything else? Anything else? I think we're good. We went over what can be carried in them. Oh, hold on. Yeah, so as we see... Oh, that's not what I wanted. As we can see in the freighter stat block, it says 10% bonus to missile damage. That's all missiles. So that's a 50% bonus to missile damage total. And then bonus to ship infrastructure hold capacity. That's where you get that massive one. And then an additional 20%, which means 100% to auto-targeting missile damage. So auto-targeting missile damage get a bonus 150% damage. It's pretty sweet. And then the normal jump fatigue thing. And an additional use. Oh, that's why. It has a 90% reduction in capital flex shield hardeners. So that's what allows them to fit them. And they are unable to use cloaking device modules, which is interesting, but except for pretty standard if you think about the fact that they have high slots when no other freighter does have high slots. It has 6 high slots. And it is worth noting that that could be energy neutralizers. It can be smart bombs. It can be probe launchers, probably. I don't know about fitting, though. Now that I look at it, somebody's going to have to find out whether or not there's not enough fits for some of those. Or there could be fitting problems with some of that stuff, especially with that really low CPU. Maybe? Is that low CPU? I don't know how numbers work. Somebody's going to tell me. Yeah. But that's it. The one thing I am very disappointed about was, as I said, did they warp before? Yeah. Where is it? There we go. See? No animation. Nothing. Do something. This is all I can say is the Skinner's tools for this thing better be off the hook. Do people still say that now? I don't think so. Off the chain? The bomb diggity? No. It's totally rad. There we go. I'm going to go with totally rad. Oh, boy. 600 CPU is fine, considering they aren't fitting 6+ slot layouts. Fair enough. I just know, like, combat probes are very CPU intensive. We don't have foot... I guess that's a... That's a good point. That's where off the hook comes from, huh? Yeah, ringing off the hook. Okay. Yeah, they'll talk about Skinner next. It's on fire. That's true. You just aged 5 years hearing that? That's fine. I'm dust, so... Anywho. All right. I think that's about it. Man, I definitely did not give myself enough time for the SOE Epic arc, so we're not going to be doing like a speed run of it. But what I want to do is actually start reading it as we go through, and we'll look at it. We'll actually do the opposite of speed running. We're going to go through it and see if I know the broad strokes of it, but I haven't paid attention to it in a long time. Let's see how well it stands up, if I can mesh it with the current canon, if it makes me learn anything new. But that's going to be next. In fact, one of the reasons why I want to do that is... So, actually, hold on. Let me finish my thoughts. Before we jump into that, though, I do want to cover the fact that there is a 20% discount on skill training boost bundles right now. These are the just raw skill training boosts in the market. They're fine. They're just raw skill points. 20% off. I don't have very much commentary about it, other than the fact that, like, they have done... There are other sales that have been going on. It's still the 6-year or 20-year anniversary celebration. So YC126 celebration. So I imagine that there might be other sales. So don't think this is going to be the best thing going on. All right. So today I wanted to cover a little bit about how often do they do sales on Omega. pretty frequently, I would wager. They have some sort of sale like going on all the time. All right, so let's talk a little bit about the Bloodstained Stars. Let's talk about the SOE Epic Arc, because here is a question. I spent a lot of time in rookie chat, and there's a lot of, one of the questions that gets asked the most is, I just finished the tutorial, now what? Or more importantly, I just joined the game, now what? And the general answer to the second one is do the basic tutorial, restart a character if you skipped it, or at the very least, go do all 5 of the career agents. This is assuming that you've done those already. If you come back and say, what do I do now? The chances are that you will be told to do the SOE Epic Arc. Now, before we jump into this too far, I do want to say that that is not my answer to the question, young rookie that is potentially watching my video. No, I actually have a slightly different answer because it's a little bit more broad. The SOE Epic Arc answer is the same answer that I was given in 2010 when I, a young buck in rookie chat, said, I just finished the tutorial, now what? So, or the career agents. So, in activities, there is the Air Career Program. The Air Career Program is not the same as the Air Career Missions, but you should be able to be introduced to this, as many of the tasks that are in here are related to the Epic or the career agents. So if you haven't done them already, or if you have done them already, rather, you'll have a bunch of stuff for you to claim already when you open it up. And that's cool. So the Air Career Program divides up tasks into Enforcer, Explorer, Industrialist, and Soldier of Fortune, which you were introduced to by the career agents, with Enforcers being PvE focused, Explorers being, hacking, exploring, scanning, Industrialist being building, mining, hauling, and Soldier of Fortune being more PvP combat oriented, right? And so as such, each of these have their own tasks to complete their own track. Now, when you complete the track, you get cool rewards. Hold on, where is it? Where does it say the cool rewards? I thought... Does it not say it? Okay, fine. So each of these sections, when you complete it, you get a reward you get reward bundles for doing certain pieces of it, and then you get reward crates associated with the different wait, hold on. That's why. So if I do all of the Enforcer tasks, I will end up with this graduation reward, which is an extra 100,000 skill points and a bunch of cool skins for some cruisers, right? Likewise, if I do Explorer, I will get graduation reward with a bunch of Explorer, the T1 frigates and the Aspirant Explorer skins. I know, chat's covering it. Hold on. Nope, that's not it. There we go. All right. As I was saying, so you can see the Explorer skins here. I can't pull them up. All right, whatever. Likewise, the Industrialist gets a bunch of skins for the Venture and the T1 mining barges and 100,000 skill points. They all get 100,000 skill points. And the Soldier of Fortune get it for 4 pirate ships, including the Stratios. So there you go. And then if you complete enough of all 4 of them, as you complete them, there's overall progress rewards of 50,000 skill points, 75,000 skill points, 100,000 skill points, and then finally the grand prize of an extra 125,000 skill points. So this is a good way, plus the million free SP that you get for using somebody's buddy code, link down below. Then this allows you to really get a step up in your piloting game. All right. Now, as part of this, we'll see that we have Epic Arc. And if we go to the Epic Arc under Enforcer, we'll see the subtasks: complete 1 Epic Arc mission, complete 5 Epic Arc missions, complete 10, complete 20, and complete an Epic Arc. You know what epic arc I can take?
Epic arcs are chains of missions through which you follow a unique storyline. Completing an epic arc gives special rewards, which are much more valuable than other missions of a similar
Oh, you're
level.
quiet.
To find an epic arc, open the Agency window and click on the Agents and Missions tab at the top. Then click on Epic Arcs. Here, you can see a list of available epic arcs. Note that most epic arcs require you to have a minimum standing with a faction or corporation. However, the Sisters of Eve epic arc, the Bloodstained Stars, has no minimum requirement and is relatively easy and rewarding to complete as a new player. To begin an epic arc, simply select the one you're interested in and hit the Set Destination button to head out and meet your agent. Once you arrive at your agent's station,
Okay, I'm not going to make you watch the entire tutorial, but it is good and you can watch it yourself if you want to. So cool, right? The only thing I regret is that there's no like link to the agency here, but we can go to the agency. We can go to encounters, right? They said no, it's agents and missions. And then epic arcs. I know how to play this game. Oh, I can probably go back to this now. Actually, I guess we're done with that. We'll go with this. All right. So, we're going to go do the Bloodstained Stars, which is right here. But there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 other epic arcs, including the 4 empires, the Caldari, the Galente, the Mimitar, and the Yamar, as well as the Angel and Garistus epic arc. Okay. Now, interestingly enough, the Angel and Garistus epic arc actually can be run by having good standings with one of the member corporations of their enemy. So, like, for instance, you can use Caldari in order to kind of, jumpstart your way into smash and grab in order to fix your Garistus standings. Likewise, with either the RSS or the Amar Navy? Ministry of Internal, I can't remember exactly what group it is, will do the Angel epic arc. Now, let's talk a little bit about why we might want to do the SOE epic arc. Now, not only is it designed for newer pilots, but the biggest thing about it for pilots new and old is its standings bonus. I do plan on making a video all about standings. Please comment down below if you wish me to prioritize that. But the big key here is that the Sisters of Eve epic arc is the best ongoing source of faction standings in the game. It is the only faction standings that, like, it is also the only faction standings that doesn't derive, as far as I know, which means increasing your faction standings through SOE Epic Arc with the Caldari does not hurt your Galente standings in the same way as doing career agents or being promoted in faction warfare or any of those, not career agents, storyline missions, or any of those classic ways of gaining standings. The SOE Epic Arc is repeatable, and that standings does not derive. And those standings are based on social skills, which means we're going to go in here and start looking to make sure I have the social skill. I do not. Let's start training that up right now. Who needs missiles? I need to talk to people. But yeah. So this can be done every 3 months, and it is worth doing that as often as possible in order to get your faction standings up. Faction standings is incredibly difficult to get up, but if your faction standings gets above a threshold, that counts as having above that threshold for everybody within that faction. So, for instance, with Ash, I have 5.0 with Galente and Mimitar, which means I can pull from any corporation in Galente and Mimitar. I do not have to. Every agent in every level 4 agent in the Galente and Mimitar will talk to me, which is pretty cool. Hey, the Stralkinator. I think I got that. Now, and that's the last piece of this, is that why you want to do this right now is because A, you can sell or buy Sisters of Eve or, faction standings from somebody from the SOE Epic Arc. The only mission that matters is that final mission where you choose which standings that you want from the 4 different empires. And that standing gain does get shared within the fleet. And that standing gain does get increased by Glamourix boosters, which are currently dropping in the Capsuleer Day event. So, if you want to, this is one of those very rare opportunities for you to very quickly get faction standings to a critical level for any of the 4 empires by running SOE Epic Arc and potentially even getting other people to run SOE Epic Arc for you. I don't know what the market on that is, but I know that it is a thing. I butchered your name? Well, join the crowd. I'm having a nice day, yes. Do your pirate arcs affect your standings with the empires? Oh, absolutely. Quite a bit. All right. So, we know why we want to make it. We know why we want to do the SOE Epic Arc. Let us go and pick up a ship for it. Because I'm not going to be doing this SOE Epic Arc in this gas huffing ship as much as I might like to. Now, you might be, your first instinct is like, oh man, the SOE Epic Arc, I need to bring like the biggest, scariest thing I can. Maybe you've just gotten into cruisers. Maybe you're coming back and you think it'd be cool to do it in a battle cruiser. Force out that instinct. The SOE Epic Arc is a whole lot of traveling, okay? It is a tour of the cluster. It is an introduction to the 4 empires, okay? So you're going to do a lot of warping and not a lot of daka. So you're going to want something that goes as fast as possible. However, it is true that the final boss, Dagon, has quite a bit of a tank, especially for a complete rookie. So your goal is to have at least 120 DPS, but otherwise basically just be as fast as possible, okay? So that's going to be our targets for the day. Luckily, we have an advantage. If you are a new player and you are trying to do this out, this is very, very easy. I don't have to link you a fit. I don't have to tell you a fit. I don't have to send you to a workbench. You just open up your fitting tool. You go to fittings. You go to hulls and fits, and you click on this 3rd box in the community fitting box, which opens up the community fittings. And oh, look, we can just go SOE, and it pulls up 4 options, 1 for each race. Excellent. Now then, I am Caldari, last I checked. Man, did Dagon earlier today and it was a struggle? It can be. So I want to be able to do 120 DPS. That isn't quite 100 DPS, 120 DPS. However, this isn't really good bullet. So let's look at better bullets. With better bullets, I do 156 DPS. That's pretty good. Let's see if there's anything I can do to improve this thing. Do I have Tech 2? Do I have the ability to do Tech 2? I do have the ability to do Tech 2. Can I fit Tech 2? This is a good idea. Learn to use variation tabs and requirement tabs and right-click show info on things, on fits, so that way you can customize fits up and down, right? Like if something's too rookie for you, if something's too strong for you. But if you're doing it in somebody else's fleet, make sure to communicate with the fleet commander, because you might make a decision that will cripple something in the fleet, right? But here I'm just upgrading items. So this shield extender 1 can easily become a shield extender 2, almost certainly. Yep. And this multi-spectrum can become a Tech 2. Perfect. Now, do I have the stuff for Tech 2 guns? I could train into it. Like, I could use my 1,000,000 SP in order to get it, but I don't need it that badly. That's fine. We're going to go with 173 DPS. Thermal shield reinforcer, EM. That's fine. And afterburner should be fine. I'd really like to see a micro warp drive, but we're going to go with an afterburner. So yeah, here we go. We took a Tech 1 SOE Epic Arc build and we made it into a Tech 2 SOE Epic Arc. And then we're going to do buy all or multi-buy. And fit ship. And I'm going to pull up Peld. Hop in this. This should be it. Oops. I do need tactical shield manipulation to 4. All right, hold on. Skills. Tactical shield manipulation. Apply skill points. Apply skill points. Remember, I'm still going through. I use only the skill points I need to, right? And so that's a very important skill, and it's only to 4. I'm happy to use some skill points for that. It did take a chunk out of my total skill points, though, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. I do want to have a little bit of extra ammo than this, though, so let's go ahead and grab... Let's go with like 5,000 of each. That probably sounds fine. Caldari Navy, antimatter, and... What was the other ammo? It's not good, right? It's uranium? What? I don't know. Let's go with Federation Navy uranium just to mix it up a bit. No? Not enough. What? All right. Well, I'm just going to buy this because it's more convenient to buy it as one stack. All right. There you go. And way too much ammo. Can I even fit it? I can. Easily. And I am packed, ready to go. Do I have a skin? Told you I wasn't gonna... Oh yeah, I do have a skin. I have a skin from... Wait, I can get the corporation emblem of the State War Academy? That's actually legitimately kind of cool. I should look into that. How much... Wait, hold on. How much Evermarks do I have? 4,000 Evermarks? Probably not enough for a catalyst. All right, well, we've got to work our way up to that. But that's a pretty ship. All right, and... Set destination. Let's go. And that's getting ready for the SOE Epic Arc. You know, we found a ship. You can do that for all 4 races, and why you might want to run it. I do want to, like I said, I do want to make a longer video that's about how standings works and whatnot. You use the Algos. The Algos is a very good ship for the Bloodstained Stars. The only thing about the Algos, recommending the Algos to newer players, along with the Tristan and stuff, is that it does require Drones 5, which is the only, like, newbie-friendly destroyer that requires a skill to 5. Easy, please. Oh, I got more stuff. So I do like to have an overview for my Warp 2 with it sorted by icon, so that way, like, the next destination's at the top. Some people even like to break this down into smaller components. You could even, like, move this over a little bit and put this here if you're going to go with vertical. I saw Pando on his stream had, like, a bunch of different, like, he had his thing at the bottom, obviously, but he had, like, a bunch of the different key ship types that he likes to pay attention to. Interceptors, or, like, hacks, or Hicks? Yeah, Hicks and Logi, etc. Algos could use 2 medium, 1 light drone, or 1 light, 1 medium, 3 light, so it doesn't exactly need to put drones 5. I see what you're saying there, Jeff. And I guess a Tristan could go with 2 mediums, 1 light. I like that as an answer, Jeff, but I don't like it as a reason to not give people drones 5. I hate the fact that drones are the only weapon system you have to train a skill to 5 to fully utilize. Like, it's not even for Tech 2, it's just for standard. Like, can you imagine if, like, every ship had 3 less hard points and you had to train, like, a skill to 3, 4, and 5 in order to have more turret hard points or launcher hard points? It's just ridiculous. Oh, well, you've got more fitting room because you only have that many turrets, so you could fit a larger shield booster. Well, yeah, I could, but, like, I'd really like to have just all of the turret slots, right? I feel like it's basically the same way. Anything we should talk about while we're on our way? Hopes and dreams for Skinner? I kind of think of drones as a bonus weapon, plus they're kind of fun. Jeff, you're not flying the algos correctly if you think of the drones as the secondary weapon. Or a bonus weapon. Unless you think of the algos as a bonus ship, in which case, I agree. The algos is superb. So honestly, the highest DPS you can do is 3 mediums and 1 light. While true, I'd still stand by the Tristan. That's even more so. Well, Jeremy, they did that a while ago, but, like, not that much recently. I can't think of the last time that they did a big thing, like they did that originally when there was, you could have up to 10 drones in space, but they haven't really done that since. Certainly not since I can remember. Garissa ships don't count. That's their cheat. Any lore behind the Bloodstained Stars we should know about? I don't know, Jeff. Let's find out, man. I don't... Look, here's the thing. I haven't read Black Mountain yet, which I probably should do. But I have vague remembrance of, like, some of the basic stuff. I know it's about SOEs investigating the rogue drones, but, like, the details behind it, I totally don't even remember. I don't know the last time I tried to pay attention to it. So that is part of what we're doing here. We're going to look through it and read all the stuff and see if we can learn anything, see if we can synthesize it with what we know, see if it gives us some sort of clue. Eureka! It's been sitting here all along! You know, who knows? We'll find out. Probably next time, spoiler alert, because we're taking a long time getting started. Go ahead and read it. The problem is it's really long, and I just need to, like, disappear for a couple days and read it. But I also hate reading, so I wanted to do a read through of it because that actually makes it easier for me. But, like, just straight up cold reading it can also be hard, especially in front of an audience. You want it more so you can use the Gnosis as a boosting and mining ship? Wait. The only thing, other thing I can think of while number fit is tied to skill is gas huffers. I don't think I followed that one, Aaron. I see. Yes. Gas harvesters are similar in nature, yeah. But that's also a really weird skill, isn't it? But it's also not like one of the 4 races, like... I'm not going to say there are no ships that are, like, designed to be gas huffers, because there are. But, I mean, like, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? Make Thera your home system, newbies. Trust me on this one. Hey, think about it this way. Okay? In theory, the Avalanche could probe its way through Thera. It is a barrier to entry, Aaron, but it is one that, like... So gas huffing is... The gas huffing skill book being that expensive, I think, is particularly genius, right? Because a rookie dude without any resources at all won't be able to afford it, won't think to do something as silly as go into low sec by himself in order to try to figure it out, right? But if they have a friend who wants to help them maximize their skills, they can be like, oh, dude, here's a gas huffer. And now it's like, let's go into low sec. You're doing something exciting with your friend. It's genius. It is the ultimate, like, hey, alpha bro, let's go do some cool stuff because you don't want to come do the moon mining with us because it's functionally useless for you to moon mine in an adventure when other people are mining in hulks. So that's why I like the cost of it, because it's like, it makes it into the thing that your rich friend gives you. And then you go out and gas huff for a day, and then you pay back your rich friend. And now you are the rich friend. Why Thera when Turner has so many wormholes? Turner is the new Thera. I love Turner. I love Zarzak, don't get me wrong, but I low-key love Turner. It's Turner. It's popping off. The Pakshi Gate. Is this... Hold on. No. Zarzak is the best system. Actually, Brad, I wouldn't be surprised if you could. Yeah, probably. People won't drop 100 dreads on you in Thera? Yeah. I keep finding gas sites and wormholes, and I was like, may as well. Hey, just make sure to get out when it's time to get out. So, before we jump into the lore of this, which again, I don't know how deep into the actual session, like how deep into the game we're going to get, or the missions. But before we jump into it at all, I did want to show off, like, I did want to think, like, okay, if we're going to look at this as canonical, like I said, I did this SOE Epic Arc 14 years ago when I started playing the game, right? That'll also turn me into dust. Any rate, so the SOE Epic Arc was recommended even then. So what that means is that if you think about the SOE Epic Arc as a thing that's happening, like it's an event, right? If we're going to look at it as a thing that we're interacting with story-wise, the question is, when did this happen, right? Is this happening right now? Or did this happen when it first came out and we're kind of living out an echo of it, as it were? When canonically is the Bloodstained Stars relevant? And that's going to be important if there is details about the SOE or whatever that may have changed. Maybe the way they even describe other groups or whatever. So that's something to think about as we go through this. But in order to understand that, I had to look into where the Bloodstained Stars came from. And that is here. 2009. February 25th, 2009. Some of you may have heard about a new mission system that's coming in Apocrypha, blah, 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 Epic Arcs, blah, 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 blah. So for Apocrypha, though, we are only introducing one Epic Arc, and it's geared towards new players. That's not to say that only new players can do the arc, but the missions challenge range is only from level 1 to level 2 missions. Despite the fact that that is the two Atlantic, blah, 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 been developing the toolset for Epic Arcs. So, yeah. So, in Apocrypha, the Apocrypha expansion in 2009, when the wormholes blew up and everything else was going on, CCP added the SOE Epic Arc. So, we can think about the SOE Epic Arc as something that is happening potentially around the same time as the Apocrypha event, which is maybe important given the fact that the Apocrypha event started because the rogue drones had secured the super weapon from Jamil, and which was destroyed by the Thucker pilot, which caused the chain reactions, which caused the Apocrypha event, right? Rogue drones were deeply involved in that. So maybe there's something involving that. We might want to keep that in mind as we look through this, because there's a lot of stuff about rogue drone odd behavior. Might be worth thinking about when it came from, right? But I also don't know whether or not the Epic Arc ever got updated, like lore-wise. So that is what we're going to work with.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
So Arnon, which is always full of advertisements and stuff. Let us begin. We talk to Sister Alatura. A beacon beckons. I ask for help, and they send me a capsuleer. You are a capsuleer, aren't you? An immortal pilot who subverts the rules of life and death, who shapes the fate of empires? You'll have to excuse my skepticism. Wait. What? I guess. Are you skeptical that I'm a capsuleer? Because I am. I work with a humanitarian organization, the Sisters of Eve. Now I'm skeptical. I've seen you hasten the deaths of millions every day. I've seen your kind hasten the deaths of millions every day. You expect me to believe that you're any different? To prove yourself, your actions will have to do the talking. You've just received a distress call from a ship called the Damsel, and you're the closest aid available right now. Get out there and save some lives. Prove to me that you're not just a murderous liar with a god complex. With all the power at your disposal, you certainly could be a force for good. And one thing is for certain, good is in the dire need of allies these days. So our job is to go here. Hold on. And rescue this ship called the Damsel. First of all, that's got to be a reference, right? Like, that's got to be a joke, because the missions had to have existed already. So it's like, oh, look, the first Epic Arc, the first thing you do is rescue the Damsel. Yes, I understand that she's a skeptical that I'm a force for good, but she doesn't quite state that, is my point. Either way, we're accepting the mission. And we got to go to Menarch. So you can't really see it here, but if I go over here, you can see that, like, there is the task here. A beacon beckons. And I can just set destination from here. And then use the radial menu, because I'm not bad. There's a video about it. In order to warp to the system. A lot of capsuleers do. Or a lot of Sisters of Eve don't like capsuleers. Well, Sisters of Eve is in the zeitgeist right now because of the Capsuleer Day Glamourix reward. Sigma Grindset rejected me, then Goonswarm approached me. Nice. Hey, man. I've always defended the Imperium. Like, the Imperium do good stuff. Like, they are a player empire. And I think that a lot of the goons are pretty excited about what's coming. And, you know, one man's bullshit is another man's opportunity. I think it'll be pretty exciting. I think on the one hand, like, null blocks will be able to, like, dive into their baser instinct to try to defend themselves over attack too much, while at the same time exposing enough vectors of attack that makes it so that that defense is interesting and compelling, and there are people that are actually doing it in a way that creates gameplay. You know what would help with that? No bubbles in Zarzak. I don't know how exactly right now, but it's still true. All right, let's go to the site. Turn our hardeners on. How much do you want to bet that to prove I'm not a killing, mindless killing machine, she's going to make me mindlessly kill some things? How much do you want to bet? Money on it? You've already done this before. Oh, well, fair enough. There's the damsel. That is a... Oh, God. It's not a vagabond. It's the Tech 1. Name falling out of head. Oh, I should probably turn prop on. Hold on. Don't tell me I'm not looking at chat. Oh, never mind. I'll look at chat. Nope. I'm so dumb. I guess I didn't need to kill anything. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. You're going to make me kill things later, though. Tempest! Holy sh... I knew it was T, and I could not think of anything besides tornado and how it wasn't tornado. All right. V-Rod, thank you for that gifted sub. 07 to you. All right. What's next? Complete remotely. On behalf of Uncle B, thank you. Request mission. Come on. Accept remotely. Okay. Oh, shit, I didn't read that. We need to be better about this. Okay. Agent inquiry. We've got some interesting information about out of the trip. It seems no one fired on the damsel. Something must have happened inside the ship. We'd like you to track those survivors down. See if you can get any information about the ship's path, pilot, or cargo. We need to know what caused this disaster. Concord is the first logical step. I've gotten in touch with Concord. Ask Agent Tevis Jack, who may have information for you. His location is being uploaded to your Neocom. He's currently acting as an OR agent. Go see if you can find a piece of the puzzle. So... this guy is a Concord agent operating undercover as a OR agent.
Warp drive active.
Yep. We've learned that SUE don't like murderers. And are snobbish. She does have kind of a Karen vibe, right? A little bit. I mean, blonde dreads is a choice. Hold on. That okay. I didn't know whether I was still green screening my Eve game. I had to check real quick. All right, warp to location.
Warp drive active.
I do love the Cormorant now. Isn't the Karen... Look. Yes. It's the large amount of makeup. I don't know. And then I radial menu up to start conversation. That completes the previous mission. All right, of interest. Why does it always start with like 2 words? Is that the name of the mission? Probably. Yeah, I picked up on the crew that outlived that explosion. Pretty massive, whatever it was. I'll see if I can track down the facilities they were sent to. If you can do me a favor, if you can do me a favor, a bunch of pirates have been scavenging the explosion site. Go and take them out for me. It shouldn't be too much trouble for the cat slayer. Ah, I knew murdering would come in quickly enough. And if you can even find some extra information, hell, you can probably get it done in time. I'll need to look up the rest of this data. Damn legacy systems. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's called Of Interest. That's just the name of the mission. Got it. So I got to go back to Monarch.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, he's an ore person, but we know he's a Concord agent.
Warp drive active.
Why am I not Wait, hold on. Why am I not training anything? Why am I not training anything? What happened? Oh. Really? Already? Well, I guess it's time to start getting skill injectors or alpha skill injectors with Plex or something. All right. Oh boy, here I go killing again. Hey, Tranquilla Mare upgrading a membership to supporter. Thank you so much. All of my supporters have been unironically really great. It looks like we're going to be doing a supporter-only stream of, well, like a group Stellaris game. I don't know the detail. I'm not 100% sure when we're going to do it. Might target this weekend. Unsure, for example. I need to talk to people. Another thing is, if you're in the convocation, like, one of the things that we were thinking about doing is, well, first of all, I'm going to be putting out the survey today, finally, 16 days late. But also, hold on. My sensors are picking up that you now have a strange bit of tech in your cargo. Bring it to me. But also,
Warp drive
what was I going to say with that? Oh, yeah. I want to start doing, like, maybe us jump into stuff right after stream. So, like, maybe start up home fronts right after stream on stream days or whatever. Yeah, daily logins and missions and daily missions are a good way to get your SP above 5 million. Yeah, I agree. And that's one of the reason why I'm saying that is that's one of the pieces of this challenge is like, now that she's here, the question is how many more skill points can I get by, you know, doing dailies, earning ISK. You know, if I get a lot of ISK, if I do a task, it depends on how much I jump into doing Kato Ash. Right now, Kato Ash is just like, hey, demonstrate a thing. Look at how to do it, you know, whatever, even as an alpha. But, like, if I really wanted to jump into that challenge further, then what I would do is actually try to make money as Kato Ash. And the reward of that money is I'm doing it to buy Plex to get alpha. Like, every session, I need to earn enough ISK to get an alpha skill injector. It's just like a metric of performance, you know? All right. I am finished with my current mission. That's what I'm here to talk to you about. Oh, you're done. Good timing. All right, okay, I found your first guy, but it looks like he's already shipped out again. What a fighter, huh? He's down in the crew manifest as Red, and his convoy is listed under the same handle. So there you go. I'm giving you coordinates to intercept the convoy now. You should be able to catch them before they get too far. Go quick, though. I'm worried that they don't have enough security to deal with the number of pirates where they're headed. Well, at least they're introducing people to the concept of rats if they read this. They may need your help. Okay. We're going to head to... Oh, it is in Tar, so we're just going to go deal with them right now. Retrieving Red. Warp to location.
Warp drive active.
We're doing the SOE Epic arc. Ouch. And that was the best picture I could get of the SOE. Look, it's a reference, not a... Yeah, there you go, see? Alright. Once again, we're killing things. Blood Raiders. How's my thermodynamic skill? Oh, good. 4. If you haven't yet, I made a video arguing, or I had an argument that the thermodynamics should be the magic 15th. Yeah, it'd be cool. A Nestor is an interesting goal for a new pilot.
Warp drive active.
Although, so if a new pilot came to me and was like, hey, oh wait, shoot. Is that it? Am I done? Oh yeah, I am done. If a new pilot came to me and was like, hey, I want to get an Nestor, my first question would be like, why? Right? Because like, there's a lot of potentially false assumptions that are going in there. And the biggest false assumption that I'd want to verify they're not having is that like, well, if the Astero is good explorer and the Stratios is a better explorer, then maybe Nestor's the best explorer. And I have to explain to you, actually, they can't use the covert ops cloaking device and are slow as hell, so are actually really bad for hacking. Astero is actually better. So, you know, once we're past that threshold and they're like, oh, I think it really looks nice. And it's like, well, they're for logistics, you know, they really do a lot of repping and stuff. And they're very expensive. Once we've passed all those thresholds, if they still want it, then yes, let's go for it. Remember, EVE Online is a game about the practical application of bad ideas. All right, dead is he? Figures, I'll keep the investigation open, but unless something changes, there's little Concord can do. Hacking ghost sites is... Yeah, I mean, like, we've done gas huffing and exploration. If people took those tasks and, like, took them to the logical conclusion, you could build up is easy. And that's the claim that I would be testing if I jumped deeper into this challenge. So now I got to go 3 jumps back to talk to Alert. Oh shit, I didn't read the stuff. And I can't quit the mission because that would be bad. Hold on.
Warp drive active.
Where's the... I have the SOE Epic Arc thing pulled up. Do I have it? Dang it. Well, here's the page on the mission I'm on. Oh, there it is. Never mind. I'm dumb. Also, I need to set my peld correctly for it to finally report stuff correctly. I like how nobody points out that my peld isn't working when it isn't working. Any rate, so the thing was, I just got a message from Sister Alitura. I sent her that weird data core you found at the site. She says they weren't able to decipher it. Pity. Still, she's very interested in consulting with you. So go do what she wishes. The sisters are good people. It's hard, man. Nestor can easily tank ghost sites. I mean, you're right. You're right. You could easily tank high-sec ghost sites with a Nestor. I would argue you could probably do it in a Stratios too, but you could do it easier in a Nestor as a newer pilot. That's why I'm using the opportunities window to do all my commanding, so that way, like, I don't set a destination unless it says destination, like, unless it's from there. So I have to be on the correct step. Hey, Punch. We covered what we learned about the haulers, and now we're just doing a little bit of the SOE Epic arc to wrap up the day.
Warp drive active.
Haulers. Leaves and presses it. And immediately starts stream from the beginning. Yes. Leaves the present. Got it. It's sometimes hard to read some of the words with the heart, like, covering that part.
Docking permission requested.
Yeah. No, not accepting a mission is like...
Request accepted.
That's the one mistake that I just cannot outlive. Doesn't matter. All right. We have another crew member located. The ship janitor, Nebin Centrion, is stationed at a small outpost. We hope that he'll have the lead us on where some of the other personnel are recuperating. In light of what happened to Red, I'd like to bring him back here once you found him, for his own safety, you understand. Uh-huh. He's in Arnon. Or Arnon. So let's go after him.
Warp drive active.
How do I... Hold on. While I'm doing that, I need to look at something. I have, like, this task. I have a thing that says I need to go talk to the person. Like, it's tracking something, and I don't know how to stop it tracking. Either way, time to fight. Oh my god, this overview. Hold on. Really? Not cool. Also not cool. So I'm going to show all brackets, right click, add to targets tab. So that's how to quickly, if you, in the event that you end up in this sort of situation where it's like, wait a minute, I can't see anybody. That's how to fix it, right? The first thing you do is you check to see if bracket visibility is turned to show all. It defaults to determined by selected tab every single time. And then you can look and right click on it in space and add it to your overview right there. That isn't the best solution long term. Long term, I'm going to go into my overview settings. I'm going to find what? NPCs? Yep, that's it. Pirate NPCs. So that's actually all of them. Oh, that's cool. Wait. Oh, good. They used to make it so that it was like every time they added in a new NPC, it fell under the same category, or it fell under a new category, and that was a problem. It looks like they might have fixed that. Yes, definitely the forgetting to put stuff in your cargo. That's a big one. Although now they actually, like, in the earlier missions, they say, like, hey, you're forgetting your cargo. You need that. The not accepting the mission phenomena seems to have a positive frequency correlation with the amount of alcohol I drink. Who could have known? I wonder if there's like a Balmer's Peak scenario there where like there's a certain amount of blood alcohol level where you become the perfect pilot.
Warp drive active.
You had an NPC. Look, man, I don't have a PvP tab. I just have targets. PvP, PvE, they're all targets. Oh my god. So if you crash into something, you can always control space to stop your navigation, because otherwise you'll be bouncing off of it for a while. Move away from the thing that you're bouncing around like an idiot on, and then hit warp again.
Drive active.
There's definitely an amount where I think I'm the perfect pilot. Yeah. I think that's past Balmer's Peak, though. That's an XKCD reference. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google XKCD Balmer's Peak. I legitimately got my programming job because I referenced Balmer's Peak in the interview. The guy who hired me later told me that. You're like, we knew that we needed to hire you when you could just reference Balmer's Peak off the top of your head. I'm RPing as an alpha. Exactly. I'd like to be able to have multiple hotkeys for the same function. I want to have a mouse keybind for stop ship without unbinding control space. Good point. It is also worth noting that there's a lot of shortcuts that are really useful. I don't remember if I went over them all before. Either way, start conversation. Give me a moment to input Nebin's data. He's already providing us with good information. We've got information from Nebin, but there's a problem. It appears that Ariel Azil, the ship's cook, has shipped out as well. There's no way they would all get reassignment so soon after an incident like this. They're being shuffled through the system so that we don't find them. And then there's the drones. You need to find Aubrey. If we follow this long enough, we might discover who doesn't want the truth uncovered. Okay. So this is also in Arnon. Okay, great. So they didn't go far. Unironically, one of my interview questions is Piccolo or Vegeta? I don't know, man. I'm really a Cell Games guy.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to show off play, too. There's been a lot of things to go over when it comes to the lore. I like to try to fill in the gaps. And a lot of, like, the basics of the game. Like, a lot of people do good videos. Like, Nth Dimensional did a really great video about the event, for example. Hey, could you give me a hand here? So, once again, because if I have determined by selected tabs here, you'll see, like, there's nothing here. Why is there nothing here? You can see it in the general tab, but, you know, whatever. Like, a lot of times this will happen in rookie chat, too. Oh, gosh, I can't see anything. Well, make sure, first things first, go here, click on the brackets, go to show all. If it's not here, then there'll be a triple dot, and it'll have a thing that says, like, bracket visibility. And make sure it's set to show all. It's not by default. That'll let you at least see everything in space. And then you could, like, right-click on the thing that you want and go, you know, add to overview or whatever. But in this case, I don't really need to add it to overview because I can just click on it in space because of radial menu, because I'm good at the game. And I use my radial menu. Thinking of you, Goku, a bridge beast. I feel newbies get very overwhelmed by the HUD and UI. Once you get an overview organized, things become clearer for sure. Yep. That's true. And that's the thing, is that like newbies don't have to deal with everything, right? It's okay for them to not get a lot of the stuff because, you know, just realize that the game is way more complex than you realize it at first. All right. Oh, look, rogue drones. Why are there rogue drones coming after these people? Ooh, a mystery. Spooky. Let's kill the rogue drones. I want my 3,750 ISK bounty.
Warp drive
Wait.
active.
There's more? All right, I'll leave.
Warp drive active.
I'm going to SOE arc before we go back to insurgencies. Need to decide who is best to increase my standings proactively. Maybe the Mimitar. Yeah, Tranquil, it's a good idea. That's what I'm going to be doing too. I'll probably do that in the next couple of days as Ash.
Docking permission requested. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
We've located the doctor from the wrecked ship. Unfortunately, we've located her by way of a ransom demand. We want this doctor alive, so we're going to pay it. Luckily, they just want a planetary currency, so the realistic value is minimal. I'll put the money in your hangar when you accept the mission. You need to take the ransom to the designated drop location. There to drop off the doctor as soon as you drop off the money. That's the plan anyways. Be prepared for double cross just in case. So this is where a lot of money comes from, by the way, guys. See, a lot of money. Shots fired, Ash, quote, I use the radial and always know which tier filament I'm using. The latter is not true. I mean, I know how to tell them apart, but at the same time, that doesn't mean I always grab the right filament. Is Pochvin a relic, or will they do something with it later? The Triglavian and Drifter story are by far not over. How much that will influence Pochvin remains to be seen. But the stabilization of Pochvin continues. Also, Pochvin is kind of great the way it is. I've talked about a couple of fixes that I would put in, but like, when I want to just run around and do something, I go into Pochvin. We actually did a Kiki roam the other day, ran into the Kybernauts, got into a fight. It was fun. Yeah. A lot of money. Into the dead drop. That worked out. I wonder how much cash we can get if we kill you and keep the doctor. Well, what if I take out the lot of money? Come closer. Closer. There you go. You guys are bad at this. Yay, daily career goals. All right, and now I have the doctor.
Warp drive active.
I do like these missions that just put the thing in your cargo hold. Unless you're with a fleet, then it just goes to whoever kills him last, or whatever. Poshman gave content to the guys who want to be salvagers, and fighters, and crabbers. So here's a question for you. Okay, here's my question for the Pochfin lovers, okay? Only Pochfin dwellers get to answer this question. Scout's Honor, okay? Ready? Here's my question for you.
Docking request.
Obviously, skyhooks and all that sort of stuff, not made for Pochfin. But what would you think about the Metanox moon drill being allowed in Pochfin, knowing that it does not allow for tether or docking, right? Would it be okay to allow the anchoring of Metanox moon drills? That's the thing that I would like the community to debate. I want to hear people's opinion on that. But I think that this is actually a really good stopping point at the moment. So I think tomorrow, if we don't have something else to talk about, we may continue this whole process. I actually don't remember what, if anything, I had planned for tomorrow. So, huzzah. Is there anything I can remember? I don't know. Get a mug. I only day trip into Pochfin. I'm still interested to know. But either way, I'll probably I'll be hopping on the Discord to see if there's anything that we can get going. And I don't think we have any other big announcements. So, with all that said, I've been Astronaut. I've been playing this game since 2010, talking about it since 2012, and I'm here to put even to context for you, my fellow Empyreans. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you to all my supporters and all of you who watch the videos. Share them with other people, like them, give feedback and comments, and add details in the comments. I love you all. You know, thank you guys for coming. Thank you for sharing around. Like I said, like the stream if you got anything out of this. And a special thank you to, of course, V-Rod and, oh God, I didn't get anybody else in my scrolling. Tranquilla, I know, was pretty awesome. And at least one person else was, but, you know, the usual suspects of troublemakers. Thank you guys so much. I've been Asherothi, the voice of New Eden. And until next time, I'll see you in space.
Bring on the wrecking machine. every city